Now let's welcome to the show. We have with us Congressman Dr. Michael Burgess of the House GOP Doctors Caucus and Congressman Byron Donalds, also with us from House Oversight. Congressman Burgess, first to you. The Biden vaccine mandate ostensibly takes effect today. Enforcement of it won't come until February 9th. Are you worried that the Supreme Court is making decisions on Biden's vaccine mandate based on factual errors?
Look, first off, it's unprecedented to have a national vaccine mandate. States can mandate vaccines and have in the past historically, but there's never been a precedent where the federal government for all 50 states levies this type of draconian measure on people. Look, am I grateful that there are vaccines out there? You bet I am. I think they've changed the nature of this illness, but that doesn't escape the fact that the federal government does not have the power to do this. And if it is done through a federal agency, heaven help us. There is one more reason to dislike OSHA, and people will very quickly make their feelings known about that.
Yeah, we understand. It's basically making OSHA a new public health authority, right, over, the pandemic. They can make regulations without notice and without any judicial congressional review. So that's a powerful thing. Some would say it's like putting the DMV in charge of the Pentagon's military tanks. Here, Congressman Donalds, it's Justice Stephen Breyer saying there were 750 million cases. That's more than twice the size of the U.S. population. Justice Sotomayor says 100,000 children are in the hospital. And that's not true. It's like she overcounted by 20 times. And Omicron, she said, is as deadly as Delta. Justice Elena Kagan said Biden's vaccine mandate would zero out the number of COVID cases. A lot of factual errors there.
Well, first of all, let me just tell you, the fact that you had three members of the Supreme Court who were arguing policy but not constitutionality is exactly what's wrong with the liberal members of the Supreme Court. They were trying to find any way possible to support an unconstitutional mandate that OSHA does not have the authority for. Congress never gave the executive branch authority for. It simply does not exist. And so for them to try to find a way to argue based upon policy, and they even got the policy points wrong, is outrageous, not just for the country, but for the institution of the Supreme Court. What these justices need to do is think about the constitutionality of the actions taken by OSHA and taken by the White House. It's a complete violation of separation of powers. Congress never gave OSHA that authority, and they cannot take authority that was not given to them. That is the way our constitutional republic works. That's what the Supreme Court should be focused on, even the liberal justices.
The conservative justices it seems like they're moving toward the 1905 ruling that gave this power to the states, as Dr. Burgess has pointed out. We're wondering if there's going to be an administrative stay from the Supreme Court as they adjudicate the Biden vaccine mandate. Congressman Burgess, even CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said that Justice Sotomayor was off in her claims. Washington Post gave Sotomayor 4 Pinocchios. Let's listen to what happened on our show Friday night on this. Watch this.
This is the Supreme Court of the United States using really bad data to make a very important decision here. 100,000 children in the hospital, most with severe illness. The real number from the CDC is 5,520 from their COVID-Net surveillance network.
There are fewer than 3,500 current pediatric hospitalizations from COVID-19. Is that true?
Yeah, but, here's what I can tell you about our pediatric hospitalizations now. First of all, the vast majority of children who are in the hospital are unvaccinated.
Okay, so there's that. And, Congressman Burgess, we have, what people were canceled for in 2020 when they were slammed for, now the government is reporting as facts. The CDC director said 3/4 of the deaths for COVID-19 occurred in people with just at least 4 COVID morbidities. If you talked about in 2020, you were canceled if you said that.
Yes, and I'll tell you what else is disturbing. The federal government is requiring of federal employees and federal contractors on the border to have the vaccine, but it's voluntary for people, adults and children, who are being released into our country, being placed in homes and schools across the nation. That's wrong, and the American people see that is fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, we hear what you're saying, Dr. Burgess. And Congressman Donalds, I mean, the CDC director didn't know how many of the COVID deaths in the U.S. are linked to COVID or from COVID or how many are with COVID. Dr. Fauci admitted last week there's a huge difference between people being hospitalized because of COVID or they're there with COVID. What do you think of this debate?
I think this is a very serious piece of information. The fact that Dr. Fauci and Dr. Lewinsky can't get this data right just shows how off the White House is and all the people that advise Joe Biden. So many people actually are going to our hospitals for many other things. They get tested and they find out they're positive, but they're not in the hospital because of COVID-19. The other thing that's very important is that when we look at hospitalizations, if you go in and you test positive for COVID-19 and you're in the emergency room for a couple hours, which everybody knows is about how long it takes for you to get in and out of the emergency room, that counts as a hospitalization according to the statistics. They are quoting bad numbers, bad statistics. They are completely misinformed, and they're supposed to be the people with all the information. And this is what's wrong with the COVID policy in the United States and in so many cities right now. You have Democrat politicians with bad information.
Yeah, we hear you, Congressman Donalds. And Dr. Burgess, the data has led to things like vaccine passports. In France, they're going crazy. Protesters are outraged over things like vaccine passports. They're getting traction here in the U.S., right? We're seeing that happening here in the United States, Dr. Burgess.
Well, I'm not sure that we're seeing it happen. Obviously, there's a cadre of people who would like for it to happen. But look,
well, New York and L.A. has vaccine passports.
We don't in Texas. The Supreme. That's what's going to be so important about the Supreme Court, and I'm grateful that they're at least giving us a glimpse into their thinking, and not making us wait till the end of June when their normal decisions come down.
Dr. Michael Burgess, Congressman Byron Donalds, it's great to have you both on. Come back soon.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.